This is Ms. Wiles, and in this video we'll go over perpendicular lines. Now, I've already done a lot of these skills in parallel lines, so if you haven't watched that video yet, do that. Because the skills that we'll use within perpendicular lines are the same types of solving. The biggest difference is that we have lines when they're perpendicular, that perpendicular lines do not have the same slope, but there is a relationship between their slopes. If I take this first set of lines here, if I take the first set of lines that we have here, we can find the slope of each of those lines. So we'll pick 2 points on this line. Here's a point that I can guarantee is the right line. I'm going to use this one too. So I count across and up, and I have a slope of 2 over 3, or 2/3. This line has a slope of 2/3. If I look at the other line that is perpendicular to that, the first thing I can tell is that its slope is negative. They're always going to be opposite of each other when they're perpendicular. And when I pick 2 points on this line, I've got this point and I've got this point. And I come down and I go across, and I've come down 3 and over 2. Well, that's a slope of negative 3 over 2. What I want you to do now is just think about the relationship between negative 3 over 2 and 2/3. Is there a relationship there? Did something happen? And is it going to happen all the time? So we'll use another example. I heard it flip, and it did. So let's see if it's going to flip again. Let's use this one. This one has a negative slope, and it comes down 3 and over 1. So it has a slope of negative 3 over 1, which is negative 3. Then I come down to this one, this line, I'll call it this line. This line has a point here that I can use. Notice that this is not a good line to use. This line where it crosses, or where they meet, where they actually are perpendicular, that's not a good point to use. But this point is good to use, and this point is good to use. So I find that slope, it's 1 and 3, and it has a slope of 1/3. Did the relationship that you saw in the first one happen again in the second? And that's always going to happen. I heard it flips. So it flips, but not only does it flips and it switches. And the switching is the sign. So the fraction flips and the sign switches. That is the biggest thing to realize about perpendicular lines. And then everything that you know about parallel lines is exactly the same for all the perpendicular lines. And because that's the only difference, we have agreed that this is the only thing that you're going to see on this video for perpendicular lines. If you find that you need more, there is another video that is included in Ms. Wiles' library on YouTube. She has a channel, Wiles Math. Look it up. It's there. And in Math 1, there is a more detailed video for perpendicular lines and parallel lines. And yes, that was my little advertising. So it's not like I get paid for it. So that's all I have to say about that. And happy mathing.